Alrighty. Hey, we've got two judges online and one judge here that none of our other competitors have objected to the fact that he's dating one of the other competitors, so we're cool. Three will work. For anybody watching this or watching this later when it's eventually moved to YouTube, because Ustream is deleting all videos next month, and I'm trying to get everything moved over to YouTube, but um, we've only got 3 judges here for our Women of the World Grand Slam, but that'll work. We only need 3 scores. 2 of our judges are watching online at home, which if Ustream forces them to watch an ad, there may be a 30-second delay in getting scores, so be forewarned. I would sacrifice, I guess, since the poet I was trying to get to be here won't be here, and yeah, we really need to work on getting new people in our crowd here. So I'm sorry, a little bit of snow is not reason to skip poetry events, people. We get this every year. You should know how to drive in it by now. We hardly got any snow last year, if my memory serves right. I think we had like 1 snowstorm and that was it, so. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, by joining us this evening, you have accepted certain risks. Members of our audience may be exposed to the deadly toxin known as words. Side effects of exposure may include communication, discourse, compassion, empathy, and understanding. Words can be weaponized and have been known to bring about civil unrest, propaganda, revolution, and daytime television. By joining us this evening, you acknowledge these risks. I just tried to do something from memory and fucked it up. By attending tonight's performance, you acknowledge these risks and will not hold the Poets Haven Karma Cafe or Lake Effect Poetry liable for any consequences that may occur. In other words, which isn't, I don't see it being a problem because I don't see any little kids here tonight, some of these poems you're about to hear might contain some cuss words. Gasp! I just said fuck a minute ago, so who cares? In other words, this is unmoderated. If you're watching this at home with your speakers cranked up and have little kids nearby, you might want to be prepared to cover ears. Yeah. They know the words anyway. My youngest sister's first word was shit. And Jen just gave me a score of 3 for my intro. This is Lake Effect Poetry's Women of the World Grand Slam. We did something different this year. We decided to skip the whole qualification process. It just makes it really difficult. And have one big slam. And three women have come here tonight to compete for the spot. It's a little disappointing. There were 6 other people that I was hoping would be here to compete, but hey, no problem. Yeah, we've three phenomenal poets are here, so I was just really hoping for like a 3-hour-long slam, so we will have a 3-minute round, a 2-minute round, a 4-minute round, then the 1-minute round. That is the order that we will be doing the rounds tonight. The first round will go Red, Ciara, and Skylark. The second round will go Skylark, Ciara, then Red. The third round we'll figure out based on scores, and then we'll flip it for the fourth round. We'll go highest score to lowest score, I think. Yeah, it's the right way to do it. Okay. Poets, if you go over time, there's, you got a 10-second grace period, but once you hit that, there's a half point every 10 seconds. You know the drill. You've all slammed. Yeah. I don't need the spiel. Who cares? You all know where Poetry Slam originated. Yeah. So, all right. Judges at home, you'll give each poet, don't worry about time, but give each poet a score of 0 to 10. 0 being the worst piece of shit you've ever heard, 10 being you want to give birth to that poet's children. It's particularly funny because one of our judges at home is male. That's why that joke works. But especially funny since all our competing poets are women. So, yeah, I need to not use that. I use that joke every freaking month. I need to not use it until the next Women of the World Grand Slam. Yeah. I did not need that mental picture. You'll give each poet a score of 0 to 10. You can use a decimal point, a 6.5, a 7.8, a 9.3, a 0.4. Let's not do any negative numbers. No, that just doesn't work. And just one decimal point. I'm a editor, not a mathematician, so weird math can really confuse me. Judges at home, text me when you have a score. If Ustream forces you to watch an ad, send me a text so that I know there will be a delay. Thank you. All right. I will be the sacrifice, and I'm not worried about timing because I know how long this piece is. So. And it might help if I give our one judge here in the cafe a scoreboard to, yeah. Come on, people. It's not that bad out. If you don't know how to drive on ice in Ohio, you need to move to Georgia. Or move in the spring. All right. Your sacrificial poem. I once had a dream that I had a dream, but it was just a dream, I think. And I couldn't remember what the dream was, but can you have a dream within a dream so you can dream about a dream? And I once knew a guy who had a dream, but the dream died and he was dead and nobody ever saw him again. So nobody knew what the dream was. Maybe not him. But I dream I can dream. My dreams don't make sense. But I can't dream unless I'm asleep, and dreaming won't let me sleep. But a dream told me I couldn't dream asleep, so I have to dream awake. And you can't dream awake, I think. All right, judges, give me a score. I have a 6.2, and we have to wait for scores via the phone. I'm going to have to use my actual stopwatch because I'm using the phone for scores here. I don't like this thing because the button likes to stick. I have a 6. And I have somebody asking how to... one decimal place. Yes, no scores of pi. We had somebody try that once.
It was pi plus pi, I would like to add.
2 slices. Wife says strong 8. I say strong 7. So now I've got 4 scores.
How about average them, so 7.5?
Yeah. Okay, I'll do the average. Which gives me a score of 19.7. Yay! Okay. Judges, you know what to do now. 2 of our judges have frequently been judges, so. All right. This is the 3-minute round. I have a voice to text thing that I use when I don't want to type. Yes, I'm talking to somebody. Yeah, okay. All right, our first competitor this round is, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for red.
There are news reports coming in from across the globe stating that women are transforming into sensual creatures, some of whom may be present even as we speak. Their skin glistens in the moonlight. Their bodies have been molded by God's own 2 hands. Each pair of soulful eyes hides the wisdom of 9 sensual lives. Tonight, I have the rare honor of introducing and warning you about a rare species of feline. Her name, the insatiable tigress. Now, this exotic creature has been known to choose her mate in the most interesting way. She starts off by analyzing his strut, and then she scans his masculinity, all while taking note of how his body's chemistry stirs up her inner heat. Now, this week has been an extremely rough one, full of disappointments and sprinkled with a little bit of betrayal. And this kitty cat needs an all-natural release. Now, some of y'all might call it that Mr. Feel-Good, and others might call it that magic stick. Well, I call it that shit that'll make a grown-ass tigress act right extraordinarily fucking quick. So, fellas, if you find yourselves in the sights of one of these fine felines, please remember this. She's looking for a man similar in thought to LL Cool J. He has to be bored with conventional ways of making love and not handcuffed by society's pious rules. All that being said, you sure as hell can't mind being handcuffed during sex as a rule. And if you can follow this simple set of instructions, the tigress will fulfill all your secret fantasies. And as the slap, slap, slap of your 2 laps laps into a rhythmic beat, you two will be transported into an Amazon rainforest, which is vast and deep. But if you refuse or cannot bring the thunder, the tigress will devour your sorry ass as you lay there drifting off to sleep.
All right, judges. Just waiting on our at-home judges. 19. I had Sacrificial Poet had a 19.7. Okay, we have a 7.2, a per 9 lives, Waiting on the last score. And a 7. Give it up for red. Next up, Ciara.
In the event that you do get to heaven and Jesus does look, rather black, under no uncertain terms do you call him a nigga. Even if you are also black, even if Jesus is your homeboy, this is just probably not a good idea. Don't ask Jesus to pull up his pants. Don't ask if this is a mistake. It is, and you made it. Don't ask Jesus if he had to join the Illuminati to be Jesus. Don't be a hater. Don't step on Jesus' sandals. Don't try and cop a wool feel on the low. Don't refer to Mary as a baby mama or a welfare queen. Don't infer that stable birth was either ratchet or ghetto. Don't ask Jesus if he had anything to do with the 2008 elections. Don't ask Jesus if he likes Bill Clinton. Try not to discuss politics with a deity, period. Don't ask Jesus if he likes big butts. Jesus probably likes big butts. Don't ask Jesus if you do take it with you. Do not clutch it to your hip because Jesus does not want it. Don't ask Jesus to rap the 23rd Psalms. Okay, you can ask Jesus to rap the 23rd Psalms, but only once and only if Jesus is in the mood. No heaven smells like chicken jokes. No, the disciples were not a gang. No, they were not beefing with Dipset. Yes, there may have been block parties in Bethlehem. No, Jesus doesn't lie, but once again, you shouldn't ask the guy his buttocks preference. Yes, we are all his children. No, that doesn't mean you can sue the man for back child support. Do not ask for his license and registration. Yes, he was healing while black. You should not mind if your daughter wants to bring him home for dinner. You should not mind if your son loves him. If you see Jesus drinking iced tea and eating Skittles, do not try and stand your fucking ground. If you see Jesus delivering a sermon under what appears to be a Tennessee sun, you better not stand your fucking ground. If Jesus winks at you, you better not stand your fucking ground. He has already died for your life. I would not push the dying for your afterlife concept. Do not tell Jesus it is the past. Do not tell him he needs to let the whole nail to the cross thing go. You may not ever call him boy, and you need to consider what it is you have to repent for.
All right, let's wait on some scores here. In the meanwhile, wait, my brain just, okay, yeah. Red had a score of 23.2. Give it up for both poets. Two scores are in. This, yeah, I got all these announcements. I'll just pepper them out throughout the night since we've got this nifty 30 or 60-second delay between what we're actually saying here and the internet broadcast. This will be the last First Friday Poetry Spectacular show for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I'm combining what we do at this show with what we do at Stardust Poetry. This will be the last show that we live broadcast on Ustream. Um, we will hold slams at the Stardust Poetry shows here at Karma Cafe on the third Friday of each month. We might not hold a slam every month, and we might have some fun slams. January's show will be a duet slam. And it will be a Lake Effect NPS team qualifier. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't annoy anybody at PSI by doing this. Poets competing in the slam, you have to be 2 poets doing duo pieces. Both poets will get the same points. So your team, your duo team takes first, you both get 5 points. Your duo team takes third place, you both get 3 points. It'll be 1 poem per duo. So, yeah, group piece, duo piece. I hear group piece, I think the whole team. I hear duo piece, I think 2 persons. I don't want to say it's a group piece slam because then we'll have 4 people come when you do 1 piece, and I just want this to be just duo pieces. So we're trying new things. So, all right. Our scores from low to high, we have an 8.2, a 9.5, and a 9.6. Give it up for Ciara. Closing out the 3-minute round, Skylark.
Smile. Hey, girl, smile. Why the serious face, woman? Smile. Smile, smile, smile. Strangers think they own my face, but I don't remember selling it to them. I like to smile. I smile as often as I want to, which often makes people wonder what I'm thinking. Sometimes, when I'm concentrating hard, my smile runs off my face and into my brain to help. This is usually when some douchebag I've never met before decides that my expression isn't good enough for him. Smile and the world smiles with you. But he won't do the smiling. Somehow, I have to do the emotional labor for both of us. Cheer up, girl. If he said hello and smiled at me in the first place, I'd probably return the greeting gladly. Hey, lady, smile for me. Perhaps the most annoying are those who tell me to smile when I'm already smiling. One day at work, I was handing a lollipop to a toddler, laughing and smiling, when a man came out of nowhere and pounded his fist on my desk. Smile. I'm not sure if that was worse than the week before. A man spent several minutes trying to convince me that the repetitive task I was doing, that I didn't actually mind, was on par with concentration camp torture. We can't win. Smile, baby. Perk up, honey. It's nearly always men who tell women to smile. I guess men's faces actually belong to men. We should redefine orders to smile as sexist street harassment, along with wolf whistles and hey babies and stranger ass grabs. It's not a compliment. It's not mere attraction. It's not a guy thing. Refusing to carry an umbrella is a guy thing. They want to see me as a good girl, always cheerful and bubbly, soothing the woes that only they have. Teach me how to be a submissive, grinning girl. Let me cater to them endlessly. Make me a coy customer server of cheer, a marionette for them to manipulate. And I'll do it with a smile on my face.
All right, judges. While we deal with the little delay here. In 2 weeks, December 20th, we will have Stardust Poetry here at Karma Cafe. We will have featured poets Ken Gradomsky and Barbara Sable. Ken was supposed to feature here in October, but had a medical emergency, so he's doing well again, and he'll be here December 20th. Perfect opportunity to get a break from the holiday craze out there. I won't say you won't hear anything Christmassy here. I might actually turn on music before the show. My favorite Christmas album, Have Yourself a Scary Little Cryptmas, the Tales from the Crypt Christmas album. Songs like Deck the Halls with Parts of Charlie. Tales from the Crypt. John Cassier is the voice of the Crypt Keeper. All right, got our other scores in. From low to high, we have a... I'll get there, Jen. From low to high, we have a 7.4, a 7.9, and a 9.2. Give it up for Skylark. All right. Our second round, this is the 2-minute round. We'll go Skylark, Ciara, then Red. All right, you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Skylark.
She lived confined, cooped up, isolated but for smiley visitors. They had various names for her: Mom, Grandma, Mrs. Berg, Brussels sprout destroyer. The last time I saw her leave her house so uncertainly was some Thanksgiving or Christmas to go to a relative's house. That was before her mind learned where the on-off switch was, before her cerebrum took sabbaticals. But she was not at home today. Neither her long absconded mind nor her wrinkled 91-year-old epidermis. She was not stewing in her chair, frantic in futile worry for her young grandchildren and spry husband gallivanting at the city pool. She was not parsing pennies Grandpa gave her for groceries, ignorant of his salary or other expenses. She was not slumped in her perpetual overstuffed chair, spooning ice cream through trembling lips. If she were, she would have asked if the people clustered around her were loving family or hyenas lying in wait to tear her apart. But she was not at home today. She laid instead in an adjustable hospital bed, wheezing through plastic and no remaining saliva. She reacted only to a hand squeeze or a new noise. She blinked with eyes bright blue with confusion, then closed them to doze passively. She was not at home, but then she'd been going home for 20 years.
All right, judges. December 14th, there will be a Christmas party at Polymer City Records in Akron. That's at 68, I'm pretty sure 68, 68 West Exchange. It's not too far from the college, just a little ways down the street from Palos, where there's a poetry show every Tuesday. There'll be an open mic, there'll be music and poetry, there will be music. Polymer City Records is a recording studio. Um, yeah, just free open mic. Saturday the 14th. It's the second Saturday this month. Yes, because today is the 6th. Today is the 6th. The first Saturday is tomorrow, the 7th. All right. All right. From low to high, we have a score of 7, 7.8, and an 8. Give it up for Skylark. Next up, Ciara.
For the girl I left in the oven 3 years ago. Of all the hearts I left baking in the oven, yours is the only one who still rises at my cry of forgetfulness, the way you buck off the pan. It's what makes slavery sexy to the untrained eye. You crumble often. No fault of yours, though. It's the nature of your kind, and I will always buy broken timers, paint them promise-colored when I run out of room for words, use cheap icing as explanations, and push trick candles up your nostrils until you are frustrated, until you want to blow me, until I blow you crisp on my fingertips, until you want to blow my brains out, until I look more like my father's murder than his life, until you are blue-faced and barely brown enough to eat, and done and burned and still edible. To those blessed with face buds on their tongue, whose lovers nest in their cheeks, caked in their teeth, thick as government cover-ups, crumbled or not, girl, I'ma eat you every time. It is the nature of my kind. It is the love affair of the wisdom tooth and the lower gums. See, gums meets tooth as a child, watches tooth grow into a lovely, lovely young pain in the ass, but unfortunately has grown accustomed to the tooth's presence. The tooth, as recommended by narrator, had really, really rough sex with this hot dental assistant, and well, the gums was left with this open space that gums would rather leave unfulfilled, the end. Now, did that make sense to you? Well, why is a raven like a writing desk? Anything? Well, it's the reason I need to use analogies to say things like, hey, I'm sorry, I love you, I hope you're happy, but not happier. I tell you, I do it because I'm a poet. I mean, I do it because I'm a coward. Metaphors become a clutch if you use them too often. Similes are a murder weapon if you wear them correctly. You ask me to recite to you while I bake. Me, I Alibaba my way into the kitchen and tell you 100 stories with no endings. I put you in my Ziploc bag, baby, and I snack on that smile forever.
All right, judges, let's get those scores. The end of the first round, I forgot to say, Skylark had a score of 24.5. And now at the start of the second round, she had a 22.8. Give it up for Skylark. As we wait for the internet viewer scores to roll in. Hey, there we go. All right, from low to high, we have a 7.6, an 8.7, and an 8.9. Give it up for Ciara. All right, bringing the second round to a close, Red.
My body is a bundle of nerves ready to explode, aching and crying out to be touched, wanting only one thing, and husband, you know what that is. It's your damn thing. So here I stand inviting you to share your deepest fantasies. I'm a little hesitant. You see, I don't do this kind of thing normally, but we've been fussing and fighting, and baby, I really need to know, do you still want me? Well, hell yeah, you do. But do you still want me as much as I want you? I'm standing here scantily clad, mesmerized by your gaze. Electricity is pulsing through every damn vein. Even though I see the fire behind your eyes, I beg. Yeah, you heard me. I beg for you to release the beast you have trapped inside. Bodies, they tangle and energies collide. And oh, how I want you deep inside. A well-lit room so that you can see me on my knees wanting you to want me. Overwhelmed by ecstasy, heights of pleasure newly reached, causing your white frosting to absolutely cover me.
Just don't be one of those. I just had a comment. I need to write short poems. Don't be one of those poets that goes up during a 3-minute slam and does a haiku. We've had that. All right. Ciara had a score of 24.2 after a 1-point time penalty. I have a big enough crowd here. I'm Fuck the time. All right. From low to high, we have a 7.3, an 8, and a 9.2. Give it up for Red. Give me one moment to do some quick math. Hey, this is that little interlude. Did you have your open mic piece ready? All right, let's get an open mic piece up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Azriel Johnson.
I am 2 people. I'm at least 2 people. Well, I'm WK Pressman on Facebook, and I'm Azriel Johnson. Well, they might be. I don't know. All right. I got 2 poems because they're both short, so. No, I'm not doing blue balls. If Eris had done her yeast poem, I would have done blue ball. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I do a lot of foreign poems, and this is a mixture of a Fu and a Lu Shi, which are Chinese, but they're my American variations. So. The blood meal brings life, another source of sustained victual. They feed on beating veins, bleeding pain shed by citizens suffering from chains of corporations. We're illuminated, brainwashed by media, injected sedation into mind and body from blind religion, pharmacy substances, good old boy clubs and cliques, and those fucking golfers. Dividing up the country, dividing up the people, it's up to us to resist. The 99% should not have to fear the powered few. Wealth really means nothing if we forget its meaning. Peace is found with everyone. Whichever. You close to being done, Vertigo? Because if not, I'll do 3. Okay, I'll do one more then. This is a carol. Yeah. Striving toward perfection, I find monotone no help in my mind. Thanksgiving is the time to bear no ill will, no subtracted care even for enemies. The stare they give will be unkind, and straw-sucked energy was mine, but recirculated through fine lung-like filters, breathing the air, filling with fluid need to share the burden of that which will wear us down and break our spine in two. Weakness we underline alone, but when we link our life, the weight of the world weariness is distributed more to where it can withstand precarious pressure. They resist time in defense of those of their kind, and remembrance diminished my perception, guardian of where my kith and kin trek. Barrier, I can be in improvement dared to bring those I love light.
All right. At the midway point, this is where the order gets changed. Currently, going first in this round with a total score of 51.5, Ciara Freeman. Second in this round with a total score of 47.7, Red. And then third in this round with a score of 47.3, Skylark. This is the 4-minute round. The 1-minute round will follow, and it'll be the reverse order. So, all right. You ready? All right. All right. Ciara.
They asked me, staring closely at my new, trimmer figure I have recently acquired since my second sophomore semester at Missouri Southern State University in Joplin, meth capital of the fucking world. Missouri, they asked. Say, damn, see, you look good. What did you do in Joplin? And somehow, nobody ever expects the answer to be drugs, as if the honesty remote controlled on my tongue makes them mute. Suddenly, my collarbones aren't as appealing in Cleveland. We're much cuter in Joplin, where they kissed each other during shotguns, playing Russian roulette with our lungs. The girls are 2 feet in front of me. Joplin is 8 hours behind me, but they gaze at my face as if they saw me 52 hours and 11 minutes ago in Missouri, stepping over spoons on my way to my speech midterm, trying to figure out which utensils were used for breakfast and which ones for the next hit. Now you can stand there and appraise me until my features morph, or my mouth begins to resemble an opium bud mid-Joplin afternoon bloom, and you are all the gardeners, and you are ready to start picking, but I am already itching to tell you how I lost so much weight in Joplin. I want to tell you about this modern-day fairy tale I found in my chem class. Her name was Lisette, and the girl didn't speak, but she could do advanced chemistry equations inside of her head. They didn't understand. They thought her autistic, couldn't tell by her cocaine-colored skin, eyes like blue acid, that she was really just a drug addict fairy princess trapped in this purgatory with me, claps and pinkies like. Close our palms, pray to die, stick a needle in my thigh, sell some bottom if I gotta, with me in Joplin. Lisette shows me being here ain't so bad if you're rich. She shows me how to get my thrills. We crush Xanax bars with our daddy's Visa cards and snort them with $100 bills, skyrocketing us into the waiting room in the universe where Satan is our plastic surgeon and God is just a family member sipping coffee and tears, praying for a full recovery. Well, Lisette, she doesn't make it. But I do. Right back in front of you to Cleveland, my new body is composed so the scars won't show where the drugs ate away at my soul and left holes. I am an hourglass now because for 16 weeks I was suspended in time. My curves are a roadmap back 5,621 miles back to Joplin, back to Lisette where she OD'd, how she told me, yo, See, fuck heaven and hell. I'd rather be immortal, dwell on this earth forever in a cannabis casket in Joplin remain as a reminder for all the stupid girls who want to stay. She stayed, mushrooms growing from her feet. She stayed, she died. So I would have the balls to leave when I saw her shaking. Her arms looked like wings of heroin needles, so she perches on my shoulders like boulders, so I will never forget, so I will never try to get so high that I become buoyant. The girls are 2 feet in front of me, Lisette Spirit, who was 5,621 miles ahead of us. I tell them, girls, I may look smaller, but believe me, I've gained a lot of weight since Joplin.
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure that was the poem I saw you get the time penalty for in 2012. All right, 2 scores, waiting on the third. I already mentioned January 17th, the first Stardust show of 2014. We will be having the Duet Slam. I didn't mention who our features would be. Fable, Marcel Price, will be featuring, coming down from Michigan. I can't remember the city now. Yeah, Grand Rapids, Michigan. He'll be featuring the next day at a show up in Cleveland for Writing Nights, but he'll be here first. Marcel Fable Price on Facebook. He's Our second feature that night will be Diane Borsnick with a book release. Poets Haven will be publishing a new book by her. Yay, books, books, books! And we may or may not have a third feature that night. I'm a little reluctant to have 2 features at our show here that are also featuring in Cleveland the next night, but she's coming all the way from California. I'm waiting to hear back if she'll be here early enough to feature here as well, so I can't officially say the name yet. All right, we have our scores. From low to high, we have an 8, a 9.5, and a 10. Give it up for Ciara. Well, I should specify a fucking 10. That's exactly what the text says. All right. The next poet in the 4-minute round, ladies and gentlemen, Red.
Commercials. They go on and on about toys that shouldn't even be called toys because they are so high tech. And then they move on to expensive ass elixirs that supposedly smooth out skin. And then they move on to undergarments that they claim will pull us in an effort to give us back those figures from way back when. But wait, I have more. How about our kids go outside and play? That's free. How about we drink more water to moisturize our skin? How about we try walking past the fast food restaurants on our way to do a sit-up or two, or maybe even 3? And yeah, by the way, that does include me. But you know what we always say, ain't nobody got time for that. We too busy out here trying to charge up the next big thing. Not worried about that interest. Hell, they gonna let us pay it till we die, and then they just gonna roll it over to the next generation. The same generation we've been teaching to shop at Nordstrom's, not Macy's, and hell no, not TJ Maxx. Not even realizing that it's all the same shit, just hanging on different racks. All made by hard-working Asians and Mexicans. Did you even realize that in Bangladesh, a factory caught on fire and they locked the workers in, screaming that quota must still be met, even though they knew damn well there were people dying in other parts of the building? But what can you and I as a people really say? They were probably just getting ready for our Christmas season. You know, the time of the year when the floors must be covered with toys or is not thought to be a success. How in the world did we forget that Christ only received 3 gifts? And what lets us think that our children deserve more than this? How about if commercials went on and on about giving out quality time as a gift? How about volunteering on a regular basis? How about taking the time to notice the look in a stranger's eye and saying, no matter what it is you're going through today, it's going to be okay. Just take a deep breath and keep on breathing. But wait around for advertisers to figure out the error of their ways. I say we better not be holding our breath. You and I, that equals we, have to stand up and be the change we want to see.
All right, judges. All right, we've got our scores in, so now I can say what I was going to say. That piece Red just did is in the new Vending Machine Poetry for Change anthology, released just a couple weeks ago here at the Vending Machine event. If you want a copy of it, you've got to make a donation to the Poetic Provisions Food Drive. We will be, well, we're here tonight, or we'll be next week at the Deep Cleveland Show collecting donations, and we will be here on the 20th collecting donations for that as well. And there might be another show somewhere thrown in there. I can't quite remember. Yes, tomorrow at the Literary Cafe in Tremont, the Writing Night Show, they also have the Poetry for Food foreplay available there as well. So. And I have a judge who just changed the score. Okay, that works. All right, Red, you have from low to high. Oh, wait, the last poem, Ciara, had a score of 27.5. Give it up for Ciara. From low to high, Red has just scored 8.2, 8.9, and 9.9. Give it up for Red. All right, closing out the 4-minute round, here is Skylark.
Miss Elena, come see my fairy house. Mija, you are always up in that tree. Come eat your dinner first. But I wanted to show you. I made it real strong so you can climb up with me. My Miss Elena did. After we danced in the grass to invite the fairies, she climbed up into the tree with me. We sat knee to knee in our apron skirts and bare, calloused feet. I showed her each nail, board, and branch that made it the best fairy house in Texas. I wiggled my loose tooth until it came out. The tooth fairy has to come now. My daughter Esme gives her teeth to Ratoncito Perez. Miss Elena told me that the Mexican tooth fairy mouse, Ratoncito Perez. Does Esme know about the other tooth fairy? Sí, mija, but her smile is biggest for Perez. I want the mouse to get my tooth this time. I'm too excited to sleep tonight because I want to see Ratoncito Perez. In the morning, our whole family went to see Grandmother. Our whole family except Miss Elena. Mama wanted the windows washed. Daddy says it wasn't safe, but Mama doesn't believe rumors. I like listening to adults talk. What's a lynch mob? Why would someone be a dirty speck if they have water on their back? Is my back wet? The road home from Grandmother's is dark. We're close now. My treehouse has lights. The fairies have come. Light bursts jump high, fall down, and jump up again. The fairies are dancing in the air, and Miss Elena is dancing up high with them. But Miss Elena, why do you dance so slow? Miss Elena, open your eyes and we will dance together. It's so hot near the tree. Fairy lights shouldn't burn my hand. Daddy shouted, "Fire!" and brought buckets of water. His knife cut rope, and Miss Elena stopped dancing as the fairies went away. Miss Elena is on the ground now, and she doesn't look like herself. The fairies didn't stop the monsters with lots of feet. The red footprints go everywhere, even up Elena's torn dress and onto her face. Wake up, Miss Elena! I made my fairy house real strong, so you can climb up with me. Miss Elena, it's been a long time since that night. I think I see you in lots of places. I hug myself now, real tight like you did. But it isn't you. I met Esme. She was quiet and sad. I showed her my new loose tooth, but even Ratoncito Perez doesn't make her smile. Esme lives with her cousins now because the monsters left red footprints on her daddy, too. My daddy says it's not safe for me to see Esme again. I stay awake in case the monsters come back. Nobody really sleeps now. I was just the last one to wake up.
All right. Judges. And this is one more round to go. One of our poets will be wearing this crown home. All right. All right, from low to high, we have an 8, an 8.2, and a 9. Give it up for Skylark. Oh, and in the last round, Red had a total score of 27. Or had a score for that. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean. All right. This brings us to the 1-minute round. This is the lightning round. Un momento. Yeah, I'm. I got C's in the 1 year of Spanish I took, just FYI. So, all right. First up this round is Skylark.
You said Jesus fucking Christ, but must you? I'm not saying you have to have the same respect I do for the person called Jesus Christ, but do you know any other swearing names to use? Vary it up a little. Try out Muhammad or Buddha. Shout, "Hare Krishna!" when you scrape your knee. Let's be fair and give all major religions a shot in obscenity. Turn heads when you declare, "Ra the fucking sun god!" Or, "Oh, Zeus," when it feels like the world is on top of you. "Oh, Cyrus." Blame the idiocy you see around you on Thor or the Japanese emperor. Next time you rant about your mother, flavor it with, "Oh, my ancestors," or "Son of a witch doctor." We are a global society. Pull your cursing from all faiths.
On the button, 1 minute exactly. All right. Wait for our internet judges. I ran out of things to make announcements about. Oh. Oh, yes. Tomorrow, the Writing Night show at the Literary Cafe in Tremont. Jeff Kosiba is the headliner. It'll be a release of a new book by him. Or you can. I should be there. And I've got copies of his last 2 books available as a set for just $6. So I can't remember the name of the new book. I don't think I can pronounce the name of the new book. Zoptic Figure. And you said it's a little lighter than the ones I published.
It's still intense, it's just not as misogynistic.
Okay. All right. At the end of the last round, Skylark scored 25.2. This round, she has scored 8.5, 8.5, and a 9. Give it up for Skylark. All right. Next up is Red.
"7 years old, standing, looking into your final resting place, wondering why you would not wake from your deep slumber. Of course, the family tried to explain. Mom's gone to see God's grace. She's going to take her honored place. God needed another angel by his side. But you know, after a while, I couldn't take all the cliches anymore, and I screamed, I need my mama more than God. But in reality, my lips, they never parted, and no one could hear my inner cries. So I made up in my mind that it was all just a bad dream. I'm going to wake up, you just wait and see. And Mama, she'll be standing here right by my side. But days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to years, and from this nightmare, I could never escape. The ability to share graduation, promotions, the birth of my child, even the simple act of saying Happy Mother's Day were all stolen away from me by you on that one faithful day.
All right, all right. Skylark scored 26 with her 1-minute piece. Give it up for her. I'm just waiting on the internet scores. I had all these things I could have. Oh, announcements. Poetshaven.com is once again open to submissions after a forced conversion to WordPress after PHP upgrades killed all my programming on the site. We are now using Submittable. I don't know if that'll be a permanent thing, but it'll work for the foreseeable future. The galleries are all open, poetry, stories, and art. All the Poets Haven Digest submissions have been posted. There's currently 4 calls for themed poetry for Poets Haven Digest. We do not have a call posted at this time for chapbook manuscripts. I've currently got 36 manuscripts to review from the call this past April. I got kind of tied up between Slam team fundraising and everything else and reprogramming the website, and yeah, it's been a year. All right, our scores are in. From low to high, we have a 7.9, an 8.8, and an 8.9. Give it up for Red. And now, bringing tonight's slam to a close, Ciara.
The one thing I should have told them about the drug dealer's daughter. I am 15 the third time I slam. I am at Cleveland, Ohio's Playhouse Square, and the lights are eating my face, and I like it. I really like it. My father is in the audience. His grin has caught my breath and is holding it safe next to his own, and we both realize simultaneously that I might be good at this, that I might be safe here. And I exhale, and the light burps, and we have just won, but he has been dead for a month now, and I say, one day, I'ma grow my afro so tall, God mistakes it from a microphone and lets my father speak into me. Amen.
All right, let's get those scores to my phone. Red had a score of 25.6. Give it up for Red. Just waiting on these internet scores. This would be really cool if we were like broadcasting live via satellite on network TV or something. It's been my goal. It's been my goal to get ESPN to broadcast National Poetry Slam. That is, yeah. You're competing. Lumberjacking. If lumberjacking is a sport, why isn't poetry? Poker. Lumberjacking. They competitive cutting down trees. All right. From low to high, we have an 8.2, a 9.3, and a 9.5. Give it up for Ciara. And now I have to do math. Do you have another piece you could do real quick? All right. Let's get Azriel back up here to fill a little bit of time while I do math.
This is a sonnet. Flourish of piano music begins with naked children dancing hard, with sweat sizzling as water falls to dripping on hellfire coals like saturation debt. We are a desert of drama and fret over insignificant occurrence, putting energy into TV sets, characters, perpetual indifference. Some seek simplicity and emergent change. They won't seek to resist the status quo, quid pro quo, privacy for assurance of safety. They won't resist, even though their rights will be defended by so few naked children dancing to their own tune.
All right. Thank you, Azriel. Big thank you to Jen and it was Eric, right? Eric, our online judges. Couldn't have a slam without judges. We've tried. There's nothing worse than me, the promoter, MC. We we had a slam a couple months ago where only one poet showed up for it, and she wasn't eligible. That was the one where we wanted to award the following month's feature. Yeah, and she couldn't be here, and she's the MC of the other show, so it wouldn't work. Okay, I'm babbling. Okay, tonight in third place with a score of 98.5, Skylark. In second place with a score of 100.3, Red. And Lake Effect Poetry's 2014 Women of the World Poetry Slam representative, provided we can get enough fundraising done to actually pay to get her there. LakeEffectPoetry.com. There's a nifty donate button. You can buy the anthologies from the last two slam teams, etc., etc. Winning tonight's crown, ladies and gentlemen, Ciara Freeman. With a score of 106.
Thank you, everybody that was watching, especially the judges. Y'all didn't have to, and y'all did, and I appreciate this. I've been wanting this since I was 15, so this is really, really important to me. This is my first individual competition, and I've been slamming since I was 14 years old, so this is a big deal for me. Thank you for making this happen. And another round of applause for everybody else that participated in the slam, Red particularly because she brought me here, and I wouldn't have been here without her, so hand clap for that.
All right, again, thank you all for competing. Thank you, everybody who judged. A big thank you to Karma Cafe for letting us do this show here. Our small poetry crowd here, please buy yourself a drink to go. I just yesterday got introduced to the White chocolate and vanilla. I highly recommend it. Again, we will be here December 20th for Stardust with Ken Gradomski and Barb Sable. We will be holding slams on the third Friday now at the Stardust Show starting in January. And there will also be other slams scheduled throughout the area at other shows, highly likely at some of the writing night shows. We're working out our qualifiers for the 2014 NPS team. We're working out the schedule for that right now. Please donate. It's going to be a very expensive year next year. None of the slams are driving distance. None of the national events are driving distance. And we already had it happen this year where our indie champ, Akeem Rollins, was unable to go to Individual World Poetry Slam because we didn't have the funds raised to get him there. I don't want that to happen anywhere next year. So please donate, buy the anthologies. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night.